When people are new to Google Cloud, they often go and look at the full list of all the services. And so if I come into the management console and I say view all products, you see this list, which has literally got hundreds of different services. And it can be very daunting to say, I have to learn all of that. Well, of course, you don't have to learn all the services, but there are certain services that are very popular and some that, most organizations use. So let me do a quick survey of some of the main, some of the core components and key services of Google Cloud. Now, here in my navigation menu, I've kind of favorited some of the big ones. So probably the first one that we should talk about is Compute Engine, because that's really where cloud computing started in the early 2010s. When Google Cloud came out, Compute Engine was the rage. It was this idea that I could rent virtual machines for pennies an hour, and I wouldn't have to think about the physical hardware because that was being taken care of by Google in their own data centers. So I could come in and just click a button and say create instance, and it would take me through this wizard. I could answer all kinds of questions of what do I want that virtual machine to look like, and it'll tell me, well, this is about 3 cents an hour, comes to about $25 a month. Depending on what I need to do, it could get a lot more expensive than that. That's the idea behind Compute Engine, and then kind of somewhat related to that is cloud storage, where we come in through this management console. We can create buckets that can hold objects, and objects are files that we upload and download, uh, over HTTP or HTTPS. There's all kinds of things we can do with that storage. If you think about it, compute and storage and networking, those are the basic elements of what we need for compute systems. But they go much further than that. And Google Cloud has some specific services for doing things like data warehousing. So we've got BigQuery. And so BigQuery allows us to upload a whole bunch of data into a data warehouse service. And then in a serverless way, I don't have to worry about all the underlying infrastructure. I can really scale and run huge queries on massive amounts of data. Another very modern idea these days is to build your applications and containerize them, put them into reusable containers that hold all the necessary encode and dependencies in a nice portable manner. Well, often you'll break up your huge applications into thousands of these little components, but then you've got thousands of containers to keep track of. You need some sort of orchestration. And so Google had built something called Kubernetes. It's an open source orchestration, container orchestration framework, but it can be kind of a challenge to run it yourself. And so Google Kubernetes Engine, or GKE, we can easily set up these clusters of machines that can run these kind of Kubernetes workloads. If you're just trying to run web apps, we've got a few options. App Engine is sort of the older school way of just saying, okay, we've got a list of about a dozen popular languages. You give me your code in that language, and we'll make a web app that scales out of it. And now Cloud Run can go a little bit more serverless and containerized applications, not necessarily just web applications. So we've got a few services around that. The big talk of the town these days is AI, both traditional machine learning and the newer sort of generative AI stuff. And Vertex AI is a service that allows us to do. Well, actually, let me go to Vertex AI. Just go to the dashboard, and so I can come in here and do model development, build my own models from scratch for traditional machine learning stuff. I can use work notebooks as a data scientist, and I can go in and even build AI agents. Agentic AI is a very popular way of doing things these days. And I don't have to build the models from scratch. There are models that are there in the model garden from Google and from many other partners like Meta and Anthropic, where I can take these pre-trained models and then go and use those. And then the last service I want to talk about is Looker. Looker was a sort of a third-party company that did a really good job of business intelligence, and it was a data analytics platform that got acquired by Google, and now it's part of Google Cloud. And so, if you want to build dashboards and reports and all kinds of things and make your data available, whether you're a small company or a large organization, Looker can be used for that. At Ascendient Learning, we have training across the board for all of these different Google Cloud tools, from, foundational one-day classes just to get an intro to Google Cloud, to, a 3-day deep dive on BigQuery. Whatever it is you're looking for, we've got classes for you. So hope to see you in class soon.